It's Triple Crown here, Saturday, September 7th, 2024. Back to the Eastgate Mall. I'm doing a little shopping today, seeing what I can find. Budget a little smaller than normal. Here I am walking up to the door, which turns out to be locked. I get shut down, kind of like the Rams offense in the first half of the Lions' victory last night. But sure enough, security comes by a couple minutes later, unlocks the door, and I'm finally into the show. So let's go ahead and see what I can find today. Try to at least pick up a few cool things.
Out the 1272.
How much is Romo?
I think about 250.
That's not going to tap close.
And if you build a stack, I'm pretty easy. 225.
You can guess
It's cool.
trading down.
About Laporta.
I apologize. I'm wanting to say 110 or 115, but I knew what I had it at last week. 100.
I can tell you where I wanted to get.
There's one stupid low recently, but 102, 92, 143, and 90, and 127 in the last 5.
There was only 60, wasn't it? But I think it was like damage because I was looking at that one.
That's a stupid low one. So yeah, I'm 100.
Right, good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want that in the Romo, I'd do 300 on the pair.
How much is Vladdy?
I have a table down there.
175.
First table that I stop at here is someone who I've done business with many times over the years. We have a similar taste in cards. His showcases are always great. His value box is just as good as well if you ever see this gentleman around. His value boxes are definitely worth taking a dive into. I saw that he had some new composite singles in there, so I decided to dive in a little bit myself, see what he had. Didn't find anything I really needed today. Moved my attention over to the showcase, start asking about different things. Really, I'm just surveying at this point, kind of figuring out what are going to be the best options for me to build a stack and kind of try to bundle a few things together here. You might notice that I'm not asking about too much football stuff, and I've seen a few other YouTubers talk about this, that they are scared to buy football this time of year. It's because usually you see a drop off in a lot of football prices in the month of September. Why is that? It's because a lot of people start hyping things up, right? It's a constant cycle of hype. Well, now it's kind of time to put up or shut up, right? We're through the first week of the NFL season. There is no more guessing games. There is no more, I think he's going to have a big year. You're about to find out whether you were right or wrong about whoever it may be. And because of that, it turns into somewhat of a bearish market. People have kind of put their chips down, and now there's no more time for bets. It is time for action. It's time to see what actually is going to happen. I am not opposed to buying current NFL players. If I see the right thing, it's usually going to be more so the veteran guys, not really going after RPAs and stuff. But the Sam Laporta ticket auto there, it appeals to me as a Lions fan. I don't get too many Laporta cards because, quite frankly, his prices are kind of up there for a tight end, even though he's definitely a top 5 tight end in the game already. But that has kind of kept me away. However, a product like Contenders that usually has pretty good staying power, and it's a card that will probably not have as much downside as maybe say something like a Zenith RPA. That's one that I'm more so interested in, but I'm not really seeing anything that I can bundle right now at a price that I'd be really happy with, and therefore I'm going to walk away for the time being. What I'm going to do is come back a little bit later because I know that this dealer usually buys a lot of cards and he'll put them back out. Well, I came back at the end of the show. The Laporta was gone, no surprise because it was priced very reasonably, but I did end up picking up this Scott Rowland Dynasty auto. It was one of those where I didn't need to look it up. It was under $100 asking price. I think he had it at like 90. I offered him 80. We ended up agreeing at 85. He made a quick $10 on it, and I'm walking away with a Scott Rowland Dynasty auto. To me, a Hall of Fame Dynasty auto for under $100. There's very few circumstances where I'm not going to jump on that. How much is the Puka Orange Scope?
I think that listed at 250.
250. Okay.
I'd take 200 for it.
How about the Burrow Champ ticket?
$30.
All right, this is a gentleman who I did a deal with last time I was at Eastgate. It's in the banner buying day video if you want to go check that out. I ended up getting the Brock Purdy Aqua rated rookie from him, as well as a couple of other cards. I'm looking at 2 new ones today, his Puka Nacua Orange Scope, as well as his Joe Burrow Championship ticket. I'll ask about a few other things here in the background, but really those are the 2 that I am the most interested in. Now, there are some recent low sales on a couple of these cards. I want to show them for you. As I showed you earlier, the Puka Nacua, there was a raw sale about 2 days before this one at $122. Most of the other ones before that were up around the 200 range, maybe a little closer to 180-ish. But something to keep in mind about that particular sale is that if we take a closer look at it, it was an auction, which auctions do typically go for less than fixed prices, I normally find, mostly because you are putting a time frame in which people must buy the card, right? People sometimes are waiting for payday to look for something. A lot of people are not patient. They want instant gratification. They want to buy the card now. They don't want to wait for the auction to end. You might end it at a bad time too, where it doesn't get as many eyeballs on there. Not everybody uses sniping tools to bid. Well, that end time was really crucial here. If you take a look at it, it was around 3:45 in the afternoon Pacific time, which this is the LA Rams card. So if we're thinking about local interest, then that is around the local time of when the, I guess, ideal buyer would be buying it. But even Eastern time, that's still only 6:45. It's fairly early in the day. It's not at like 10 a.m. or something where people are mostly at work or still asleep if they're on the West Coast. But taking a look at that sale, it's an auction. It ended at kind of a funky time. It ended on a weeknight. It might not be an accurate depiction of how things are going. Same thing for this Joe Burrow card. If you can see this championship ticket here, the last sale on it was particularly low compared to the rest of the sales. Now, I know some people will say, like, well, you're going all the way back to 2023. Typically, a lot of these cards don't move too much. I mean, the market for a third-year Joe Burrow contenders parallel is not going to be one that is extremely volatile. It may move slightly depending on how he plays, but it's not going to move as much as, say, something like his rookie stuff that is very much more in demand and has a lot more eyeballs on it than cards that are, quite frankly, more suited towards specific collectors of that player or team. One thing to note about the low sale on this one at $18.50 is that the buyer who is selling it doesn't necessarily have the best reputation. It's once again an auction. He has a 91% feedback rating, which on eBay is not very good at all. And it turns out, if you actually look at his negatives, he didn't end up selling this card. He didn't end up shipping it out. So is it really a completed sale? I mean, technically the buyer paid for it, but the sale was not completed because the card was never delivered to the buyer. It just goes to show that sometimes one low sale might have some underlying factors that caused it to be a low sale. That's why I don't always put a lot of faith into seeing that. I want to look at multiple sales. I want to have multiple data points to work off of and also kind of trust my gut. What do I think I can get for it when I go to sell it? And I know some people will probably bring up, oh, well, the last one did $18.50. Quite frankly, it doesn't bother me. If I feel like I can get my number, then I'll get my number. But if not, I'm not going to get it, and I'll be wrong. I've been wrong before, but being wrong doesn't scare me. I'm going to have to Venmo you today if that's okay. I'm waiting to get paid by someone for a card here.
Yeah, all good.
Does 210 work for Puka and Burrow?
So I told you 2 on that and 30 on that.
Yeah.
What about 220?
That's fine.
Fair?
Yep. I still feel good about this deal despite probably jinxing both these guys after buying these cards. Puka Nacua re-injured his knee on Sunday Night Football, then Burrow and the Bengals pretty much laid an egg against the Patriots. My bad if that adversely impacted your fantasy team or your cards in any way, but I still feel good about it. They're two really solid cards. One more note about this deal is that before I started recording this segment, this gentleman and I had talked a little bit about the previous vlog. I guess someone had sent it to him. He was able to watch it and see the deal that we did there. He told me that he appreciated how the deal was presented in that vlog. That does mean a lot to me. I had a lot of people stop in at this show and give me praise about the vlogs, or we talked a little bit about some of the previous shows that I had done, maybe some of the ones coming up. It truly does mean a lot. I always try to say thank you whenever someone says that they take the time to watch the vlogs, and however they may interact with them. Hopefully they learn something from them or they're entertained by them, ideally both. But thank you if you do take the time to watch these. It truly does mean a lot, and thank you to everyone who stopped me and said hello at this show. But yeah, I'm always trying to present things as fair as possible. There's going to be things that people disagree with. I'm going to have my own thoughts and beliefs that people may have differing opinions on. That's fine, but I try to present it, from my own vantage point, my own experience, and talk through it. So I'm glad that a lot of people out there seem to really enjoy the style that I bring. There's a pleasant surprise right there. I finally found a blue ice for my set at a show. Feels like it's been a while. I don't think I have found one at a show really since the National, but can't tell you the last time I was that excited to see a Kevin Byard card. We got 5 from here and 1 from here, so it should be 20 bucks.
Right.
I know that there are probably that were just not there.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Alright, time to put on my detective cap once again. I'm about to be looking at a DeAndre Hopkins Super Bowl ticket from 2015 Contenders Football. I really do love this parallel. I've actually never owned one before. This would be nice to kind of say that I've owned one if I am able to close a deal on this card. But first thing I'm going to do on a 1 of 1 is trust my gut. If I am needing to ask for a price, I'm going to listen and take whatever my gut reaction is to the price. Or if I see a sticker like I did on this card, I'm going to immediately analyze and think to myself, okay, does that seem high, low, or about right? I believe the sticker on this one was either $90 or $100. To me, I said, you know what, that might be a little bit low, and now it's piqued my interest. I am going to go look up DeAndre Hopkins Super Bowl tickets to see if there's any previous sales on them. I fully don't expect to find this exact card because, well, it's a 1 of 1, and even if it has sold, who knows when that might have been. But to my surprise, I actually do see a sale on it, and it wasn't like it was some crazy steal where he bought it and then put it back out for his price. It was for $85 at auction, which means I doubt that he purchased it himself. Maybe he bought it from someone else who had purchased it. Whatever the case may be, it's his card now. That's what he's asking for it. And that sale, while I'm not going to ignore it, I'm not going to solely rely on it. I see this from time to time where people will see sales on 1 of 1s and think that they can't pay more than what someone else paid for it. It's just not the way it works. Otherwise, cards would never go up in value. Everybody would just constantly undercut whatever the last sale was. Sitting in my head, I think I could sell this card for $100 if I really wanted to. Seeing that he has, I think, either 90 or 100 on it, I'm going to offer him $80, see if he'll take it. If he wants to be at 90 or 85, I would probably still take it at that point in time, but that's kind of how I approach these types of situations. Just do 80 on that DeAndre Hopkins Super Bowl ticket.
Seems fair.
All right.
Do that. Then I can no longer tell people I have 1 of 1s anymore. It makes it easier on me. Get you 20 back, sir.
Thank you.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, I've dealt with you. You've always been good to me, so I feel like it's fair on both sides.
Could you do 110 for this little stack, this guy, and this guy?
I can do like 125.
Where would you be at without the soda? I think that's like $24 stack there.
I do 120 with that.
I'd probably hold at 110. Otherwise, I'd hold off.
Yeah, because I got that on Whatnot ridiculously cheap. It was absurd inside of 5, so yeah.
People don't know who he is or something, or I guess.
All right, I'll do 130.
All right, cool. Thank you. Spent a little bit of time in the value boxes here. I did quite a bit of that at this show. When I am set up, I might be able to briefly walk around and kind of look at things. I can't spend too much time away from the table. But in terms of going through value boxes, it's really only when I go to shows to buy that I get a chance to do it. It's still one of my favorite things to do. I found some pretty neat stuff in there, but happy to pick up the Heim and then the Soto to go with it. Do you have composite singles in there?
What's that?
Do you have new composite singles in there?
Just a few, just a couple. You talking about the new football stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a few in there left. I don't know. If football would only be in this box right here.
Okay. I do pay attention to what other customers are doing at a dealer's table because sometimes it gives you some insights into things that you might otherwise have not picked up on. In this case, I had just walked up to this table when I saw someone else kind of checking out, if you will, from their value box dig. At the very top of their stack, I saw this Warden Moon. I want to say it was like a blue wave refractor out of the new Topps composite. I was looking for some composite singles at the show, so when I saw that, I thought, okay, there's probably some good stuff in that value box. I probably wouldn't have dug in this particular box. I checked out a few of the other ones that I thought would be more of interest to me, but I wouldn't have gone through that one had I not seen him put that card at the top of his stack. Now, I didn't end up finding any composite singles that I was really looking for in these boxes, but I wouldn't have even thought to check if I wasn't paying attention to that little detail. What would be the total on my stack if I add that Cheerio into it? I'll take this out. Can we make it 100 even?
Sure. Yep.
Little teaser here. You'll notice that I have a couple of those Aaron Judge 2024 Topps Chrome cards in my stack on the deal I just made. I planned to do a video series last year revolving around those cards. It didn't quite work out, but I am definitely trying to work something out for this fall to show you how I use those cards, if you catch my drift, once I'm able to do so. So stay tuned for that.
I do have get a one-touch. I have the plastic covers, obviously, for them. But yeah, I do need a one-touch for it. Yeah, you need a one-touch.
I'm getting that for sure. I need that for my set, so I am thrilled to see that.
I'll do 10 on that if you want. So
I will gladly take that in a heartbeat.
there you go.
It is twice as nice to find some more blue ice for my set. Now, you might have seen my phone there at the start of the clip. I do have a checklist on Google Sheets for all of my set needs. That way, when I'm at shows, I don't have to carry around a paper list. No matter where I am, I have an up-to-date list showing exactly which cards I need. Generally speaking, on guys like JJ Watt that are bigger names, I kind of know which ones I have and which ones I don't. But just to make sure I don't buy duplicates, which sometimes I have saved myself from doing, I double check. And sure enough, I don't have JJ Watt. So that's the second blue ice I have found today. Very excited about that.
You're a TripleCrown, right?
I am,
I
yeah.
watched your YouTube.
Oh, thank you. Do 100 even on the 3.
105?
Sure.
I know it's just $5, but
Yeah.
I feel like a little win.
It always counts. All right, that will do it for this vlog. That was the last deal I made. It's always nice to find one blue ice at a show, but when you find two, that's even better. So I was pretty pleased with this show. I didn't buy any massive cards by any means, but some good quality deals all around. Talked to a lot of people, had a good time. That's really what it's about, right? So thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, be kind.